Hey guys, it's Kai, and welcome back to our series of Understanding Love. This is part 2, and today's episode, or video, I guess you could say, is called Living in and Living Out God's Love. So last week we did part 1, and it was Understanding Love, and now this week I'm going to touch up about how to live in and live out God's love. So let's just get started. So while we live in God's love, we also have to live it out. And so that brings the question, how do we show love? How do we live this love out? So in John 14:15 it says, "If you love me, you keep my commands." And it is simple as that. If you love God, keep his commands. And then we see in 2 John 1:6 it says, "Love means doing what God has commanded us." Again, repeating that. Loving God is keeping his commands, right? And it continues, "And he has commanded us to love one another just as you heard from the beginning." So the first commandment in the New Testament is love God with all your heart, mind, strength, body, soul, all of that. And the second one is love your neighbor as yourself, right? So loving God is also loving others. Living in God's love is a beautiful transformation experience, right? It involves loving God with all our heart, soul, and mind, and loving your neighbor as yourself. When you live in God's love, you seek to follow his commandments. So as you begin to live more and more in relationship with Jesus, you start to have the desire to also fulfill and keep his commandments and to follow his command, to seek his will, right? And we also have the desire to show compassion to others and walking in humility and gratitude. So we lower ourselves and we become more thankful for everything and more grateful for everything that is going on in our lives rather than saying everything sucks, because life doesn't always suck and it doesn't have to suck, especially when you got the joy of Jesus, right? So in 1 John 4:16 it says, "And so we know and rely on the love of God, on the love God has for us. God is love. Whoever lives in love lives in God, and God in them." So when we live in love, we live in God. So if we're not living in God, we're not living in love. This means that when we abide in God's love, we reflect his love to the world around us. So when we intake God's love and when we're receiving and soaking in all of God's love, we also spread it out and give it out to others around us. And we also bring light, hope, and healing to those in need, right? God's calling us to just be there for others and to care for others as we would care for ourselves, you know? So loving God with all our heart, soul, and mind is the greatest commandment given to us. We can do this by having a deep and intimate relationship with God through prayer, worship, and studying his word. So deep, intimate relationship with God means knowing him on a personal level instead of knowing him through someone else's lens, through someone else's life, through someone else's relationship. Like, you might know me as a friend, but you don't know me the way my mom knows me. You know what I mean? Like, you may have heard about me, but you don't know me personally, right? You're seeing me on the other side of the screen, but you might not have a personal relationship with me compared to those who have a personal relationship with me, right? They know me deeper, they know me maybe more intimately, and that's what relationship is. It's a two-way street here, guys. God can't just always be the one that's pushing towards us and we're not pushing towards him at all. Like, we need to be pursuing God the way he pursues us. So when we prioritize God in our lives, we seek his will above our own and surrender our desires to him. We show our love for him because he's done so much for us not to just do anything back, right? So living out our life in worship towards him is how we're giving back to God and how we're loving God. In Deuteronomy 6:5, it says, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your strength." This commandment calls us to wholeheartedly devote ourselves to God, allowing his love to change and transform us from the inside out. So, key factors to take away from today is to learn and understand God on a deeper relationship, so that you could learn and understand love, so that you could give it out and live it out. And yeah, so that was today's really quick video about living in and living out God's love. I also want to add, last week I was like, this video is going to be like 15 to 30 minutes long, and it ended up being like less than 10 minutes or something like that. But I think this week's video is also less than 10 minutes. But it was just a quick way to encourage you guys and trying to just spread the word to make sure that you guys hear it, because everybody needs to hear the word and the good news, and everybody needs to hear that Jesus loves them and that they are loved and deeply desired to, and God has a deep desire to learn more about you and to love you more. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. It was very quick, and I hope you guys were able to be encouraged, and I just love you guys so much, and Jesus loves you more. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and I pray that you have a beautiful, blessed rest of your week. Bye, guys!